All right, so welcome to this week's edition of the In the Mind of Haize segment, brought to you by the Awakened Soul and the Breaks Media. So we're starting off. I know we were just in the opening, we were talking about Nipsey Hussle, so we're going to try to pick up the energy. I guess it's not really picking up the energy because we're staying on a negative topic, unfortunately. And this one is in the case of rapper Willie McCoy. Some may remember back in February, he was actually found dead in his car. He had been expected or suspected, I guess, of being shot in his sleep by the cops. The body cam footage was actually recently released in this case, and I would play it here, and for the ones watching on YouTube, I would play a clip from it, but it's really disturbing, so I'm actually gonna let you guys find this one on your own. But in this footage that was released, you can clearly see him sleep. The cops were talking for a while amongst themselves, trying to figure out if he had a gun, how are they going to approach it. You hear the full video is about 30 minutes in length. And, you know, there had been people who had released like cell phone footage of the shooting, but this is the first time we've gotten to see it from the cops' perspective. And you hear them talking about, well, I think he has a gun, and how them planning on how they were going to try to pull him out the car. Well, he woke up. He kind of moved forward. They immediately thought that he was reaching for the gun. You hear one of the cops say that, and then they proceed to just unload into this car and kill this young man. And while I can understand those who say, well, they thought he had a gun, you know, he reached for it, they were trying to protect themselves. At the same time, to see this footage is definitely disturbing, and the police department doesn't seem like they're going to do anything in this case. It just sucks, and not to really repeat myself, but to see it, for me personally, I know that it touched me. Have any of you guys seen it? What did that do to you when watching it? But I know for me, it was like, wow. It's unfortunate that he lost his life in this way. You know, his family, I think it was one of his brothers or a cousin, had said that they had maintained that this shooting was unjust. And, you know, I know everything that black men, as one, have had to go through in this country. And I know the shootings and everything. You want to try to understand, not really, you don't want to try, this is not to excuse it, but if you're a police officer in that situation, you think about your own safety. I can understand that. But this man was asleep in his car. Didn't really say anything, made no threats to the police officers. The video actually showed as well that they really didn't tell him what was going on. They didn't try to tell him that they were trying to arrest him. They didn't have time to do all that before they shot this man up. And I personally think more stuff needs to be done about stuff like this. We need to stop taking this sitting down. And while I'm not trying to get anyone riled up, call a militia or anything like that, I know some people are, and I can understand it. It's shit like this that we all go through, and that it's just like, what? So it happens, and we're just supposed to sit down and just accept the fact that it happened. This man's family lost him because of something that you would like to think as police officers are supposed to be trained, that you should have been able to get him out the car. I have never went through police training. I do have uncles that are police officers. I haven't ever talked to them about anything like this. But for me personally, it's like, God damn, really? And it makes you think, if this was a young white man sitting in the car asleep, would that same level of force have been used? I can't answer that. Let me know what you guys think. Again, you already know where to send that in at. It's theawakenedsoulpod@gmail.com. You can also leave comments here. I know this will be posted on Twitter as well as on YouTube. Leave your comments here. Let me know how you guys feel about it. The next one that we're going to get into, and this is a short In the Mind of Haize segment. Well, maybe short. That's if I don't go on a rant about this one. So Jussie Smollett has actually had his charges dropped, and I didn't get to talk about this last week. I think this information dropped like right after I dropped the podcast, but it doesn't seem like this is quite over for him yet. So yes, while the charges are dropped, more details are coming out. The Chicago mayor has actually said that while the charges have been dropped, he's actually seeking $130,000 owed to the city of what it charge, what it cost them to investigate this case and all the manpower that went into it. Smollett's legal team still maintains that he's a victim in this case. While the court of public opinion is kind of against that now, other details have come out that may make other people doubt it as well. I've shared my thoughts, so I'm trying not to go down that path again. Go back and listen to those podcasts, those episodes, if you kind of want to get my thoughts on this whole Jussie Smollett thing, as far as that. But when you look at them now trying to go after him financially, and I think also the show Empire, it's come out too. They're saying that the Nigerian brothers may have been in whiteface. So there's still more coming out from this case. And while I think a lot of people thought that when the charges were dropped, this may go away, it really doesn't seem like it's going to be 100% at least anytime soon. And I, for one, and I'm not against that. If they can find a way to make him financially pay for these cops' time and everyone who went into investigating this case, I say do it personally. There needs to be something done that shows that it's not okay to make false police reports and to use your blackness and your sexuality to make yourself seem like you were targeted when you weren't. In my opinion, how do you guys think about it? Do you think this just needs to go away? I know there's still people who are sympathetic towards Jussie. Do you believe Jussie Smollett? Do you completely disagree with me? I won't bite off anyone's head. I'm actually open to the discussion. Maybe it's something I'm missing. Maybe it's something I need to be more open to. Me personally, with everything that came out, I don't believe shit the man has to say. And on the flip side, what's weird is that he was actually in the running for an NAACP award, Image Award for an outstanding supporting actor in a drama series. He did not win that award, but it's just funny that he was up for that amidst all of this. And I guess funny may not be the correct word. But it just makes you wonder, it makes you shake your head. It's a sucky situation for everyone to be in. And you know, I mean, luckily we'll see how Empire rolls out and what they do with it with the show. I know that they've pulled out his scenes. Is he going to get fired? Now with the charges being dropped, who knows? They haven't, as far as I know, nothing's come out from either Fox or the showrunners of Empire as of yet. We'll see how that goes or what their plans are, continue moving forward. I know Terrence Howard has fully supported him throughout all of this. And, you know, some people have take issue with that, but, you know, I don't even know what to say, to be quite honest, in regards to that. But, you know, each to their own. And at the NAACP Image Award, so Chris Rock, of course, made jokes at the behest of Jussie Smollett, and you know it was deserved. And I it's probably going to pop up more than once. I'm sure Saturday Night Live is going to have more fun with it as well. But this whole thing, really, I just see it as a black eye, not only on the black community, but the LGBTQ community as well. I know some people have disagreed with me on that, saying that it really shouldn't affect the next time someone comes out. And while that's correct, I do believe, should it? No, we should look at every case independently. I'm not even talking about us amongst other colored people or other LGBTQ people who are in that community. But the fact that anyone, whether they're a Trump supporter, anyone can try to use this Jussie situation now to cast doubt on, oh, they're just pulling the Jussie. I think that is going to affect people. I may be proven wrong. I hope I am. I hope that anytime someone else is attacked, people take it more seriously. We've talked about it here, the attack on the transgender community and how that's just getting out of control. And, you know, more light is being shared to that as well. We're seeing people who do that being prosecuted as well. And I hope that all continues from the bottom of my heart. I hope that this doesn't affect anyone else being afraid to come forward because they think they're going to be doubted. I hope none of that happens. I just look at society and where the media goes and everything. And I think that it will be. Not that I agree with it, not that I want it to happen, but I think that it will be. Let me know if you guys feel like I'm wrong, if you feel like Haize is off his rocker or tripping. But that's it. A short In the Mind of Haize segment for this week. We actually have Jay Brody from the Cloth Talk podcast and the discussion topic of this week's podcast. We also have the petty news from Scoop Grady, and also have a surprise segment for you guys this week. So for the watchers on YouTube, make sure you go and check out the full episode of The Awakened Soul. The links will be in the description. for the listeners, the ones that are listening to the podcast version of this, we're going to take a brief break. And on the other side of that, I'll be coming back at you guys. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.